So I have been super into textural percussive patterns lately. So I thought I'd do a video on how I would recreate such a pattern using like a percussive loop or a percussive MIDI pattern that you write, and then sampling it as audio, mangling the audio, putting effects on the mangled audio, and then finding good loops within the mangled audio. So let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to start by loading a bunch of like woody and metally percussion samples into drum rack. And I want to get like obvious hits and have them sound kind of uniform so they work when I start to smoosh stuff up and mangle it. Okay, so now I'm going to pitch all these down by 12 half steps down an octave to make them a little bit more abstract. I'm going to do that by going into just one sample, transposing it to -12, right click, copy value to siblings, and that makes that change to every pad in the drum rack. Then I'm going to change the release to about 1.5 seconds. Same thing where I copy value to the siblings. Okay, now I'm going to put in a MIDI generator called Sting64, and that's just going to generate random MIDI patterns out of the samples I have in the kit. That's kind of cool. So next up, I'm going to start recording them by duplicating the percussion track and arming it to record the first percussion channel. Then I'm just going to set that aside, and we'll try another one. Okay, now I have 16 bars of random percussion loops, and I'm just going to put them all together in a 16-bar loop, and then I'm going to record them to audio so I can start mangling them. So I've just got this audio track set up to record to. Okay, now I'm going to get in here to this audio track and just start messing it up. Start moving bits around, reversing bits, pitching bits up, pitching bits down. So let's reverse this chunk. Let's pitch this bit up 12 steps. Let's reverse this chunk. Let's stretch this bit out by holding shift while you drag one end of it. Let's reverse this chunk. Pitch up, reverse, reverse, pitch up, stretch. Okay, so now I've gone through and twisted up a bunch of little parts of that whole 16-bar loop. Let's change the warp format to texture on all of these because that'll make the stretches and the pitches sound more interesting. And then let's take a listen. Okay, the next step is I'm going to consolidate all this to one audio clip by selecting it all and hitting Control-J. Okay, now I'm going to put a kick in here to keep the rhythm. We can stick with that guy for now. I'm actually going to go with that kick. It takes up a little less space. Now I'm going to go through different loops of this audio. What do you call this? Percussion jumble. There we go. Jumble of percussion madness and find cool loops. So that one's cool. I will just grab it, move it over, and save it for later. That one's cool. That's pretty cool. Yuck. Okay, I think I have enough. I'm just going to color code them to keep them separate. Now I'm going to start putting them in with the beat and arranging them to see if I can find like a thematic movement, like a thematic phrase, maybe bouncing back and forth between two in a way that feels cohesive. Okay, so that's maybe a good starter. Let's set those aside, try some other things. Okay, so I think that's another good maybe. So let's set that aside too. And next I'm going to take the first one and consolidate it to one audio clip, Control J. And then I'm going to change the transient mode to no loop, change it down to about 65 percentage transient length. Maybe put a little swing on it, like a 59, 16th, 59. See how that sounds with the beat? It's pretty good. Then let's check the other one. Transient to no loop, transient length to 65. I like the first one a little bit better, but I'm going to go ahead and save the second one. We can throw it in as an alternate every once in a while when we need some variation. Okay, now we have our texture, huzzah, complete. Let's go ahead and fill out the beat a little bit to make it more interesting. Start with some hi-hats. Now let's get a bass in. Just going to start with a basic operator. Then I'm going to put a C minor scale filter on the operator. I'm going to drop in an MDD snake, which is a MIDI generator. It's a good one. It's free. If you have not tried it, I'd recommend it. Okay, I think I'm happy with that one. I'm going to go ahead and record it to a MIDI track. All right, let's get some claps / snares in. Okay, let's get some snares in here. Okay, let's get some chords in here. So these chords are in A sharp minor and relative keys. Okay, let's put a delay on that. do some vocals. F minor is the perfect fifth of A sharp minor, so this should work. Okay, let's put some delay on the vocal too. Just every other one, I think. Okay, I'm good with that for now. You get the idea. Let's do another example. Okay, so I'm going to go for more of a breakbeat vibe on this one. Kind of like crunchy, left field breaks like Blawan, early Blawan stuff. And I'm going to start with a new plugin I got called Random Metal. This guy right here. Has some pretty sick percussive sounds. Go with this preset. Okay, then I'm going to use Sting 64 to generate some random MIDI patterns. Okay, that one's cool. So to record these random patterns I'm making, I've duplicated the random metal channel, and I've taken out the Sting 64, and then I've set the input to random so I can record the MIDI when I find one that I like. Then I'm just going to set that aside over here. Okay, so now I've got 16 bars of random metal percussion clips. I'm going to set up an audio track to record the audio from all those clips together. I'm going to put some intermittent reverb effects on this before I record it to audio. So I'm going to put a hybrid reverb in one of my send channels, or my return channels. Turn the decay down to like... And I'm going to automate this send to happen on and off every 3 beats. See how that sounds. Okay, now I'm going to record it to audio. Okay, now I'm going to mangle the hell out of this thing. I'm just going to go in and reverse a bunch of parts, pitch a bunch of parts up, pitch a bunch of parts down, stretch a bunch of parts, etc. So let's start by reversing this, pitching these guys up 12 half steps, pitch this guy down, stretch this. You stretch by holding shift while you drag the end of the clip. Pitch this guy up, reverse, pitch up, reverse, stretch and pitch up, reverse this, pitch this one down. So I just kept doing that to the whole 16 bars, and then I'm going to change the warp mode to texture so the pitches and the stretches sound better. And let's see what we've got. Go ahead and consolidate this whole thing to one audio clip. And I'm going to put a kick in for a minute just to keep the tempo. I'm going to take it out later to turn this into a break track. Might be some good stuff in here. I like that, so I'm just going to set it over to the side like this. Save this one. Save this one. Save this one. Okay, so now I have a crap ton of loops. I'm going to go ahead and color code them so I can keep them separate while I start to go through them. Okay, cool. Let's start trying some on. I'm going to go ahead and make a breakbeat to start going behind this to see how that feels. Okay, let's try some other samples with that breakbeat. That's pretty cool. I'll save that at the end too. I like this one. Okay, so this pattern is kind of working. I'm going to mess with it a little bit and see if I can make it into kind of an interesting sounding loop, like build out like some bass and a couple synths. I think I want to try a different bass drum too. Then I put a drum bus on the kick drum. Let's try some top loops out. That's kind of nice, huh? Dope. Gonna leave that in there for a minute. If I want to make it more my own, I might just rewrite a bass line like that, but that really vibes with this, so I'm gonna leave it in for now. Then I want to go for some synths next. Okay, so I've got a few synths that seem like they kind of work over it. Let's try that. Okay, let's look for some Vox. I'm gonna pitch this one down 2 steps, see how that feels. Take out those little chops in the middle. Keep it pretty minimal. Like that. Let's put a delay on there. That's pretty fucking sick. Well, just some ideas of what you could do on top of a glitchy textual phrase. One of the many ways you could make it, one of the many directions you could go. Okay, that concludes this session of making texture beats. I hope you guys learned something interesting. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I was doing in the comments, and I will see you next time.